Hey everybody, and welcome back to another max velocity weather forecast. And in today's forecast, we'll be going over your Thanksgiving forecast with the potential for maybe a little bit of severe weather and maybe a lot of rainfall as well coming to your location. I'll give you a latest breakdown on timing, the details, everything that you need to know will be in this forecast. But let's first begin with what's going on today and what this will lead to here over the next several days, which we don't have a whole lot going on right now. It's actually been fairly dry across most of the United States for at least the last couple of days. We have not seen a whole lot in terms of rainfall. There's a couple of showers down in southeast Texas, but for the most part, the rest of the United States is dry. So we're not really seeing a whole lot of activity today, but that will all change as we head closer to Thanksgiving. And that's all due to a big dip in the jet stream. So eventually going closer to Wednesday and to Thursday, the jet stream is going to dip pretty substantially with a deepening trough over the central portions of the United States by Thursday morning. This will likely be positively tilted. What I mean by that is it'll be kind of going in this direction. That essentially means that severe weather will stay on the low end. It will not be a high potential by any means, but there will definitely be a chance for maybe some isolated to maybe widely scattered severe weather with how intense this trough will be in terms of its potential for at least a lot of rain and maybe a little bit of severe weather. By Thursday afternoon into Friday morning, this trough will move off to the east. A lot of the weather in terms of rain and whatnot will start to shift down into the east coast and as well as down into the southeast and maybe New England going into Friday. But Thursday, it looks to be more of a threat across areas like the Ohio Valley and as well as even maybe through Texas and back through the eastern Midwest has that potential. So over the next few days, a broad look at things. We'll have some showers and storms potentially Thursday morning to begin your Thanksgiving day back down in Texas and Louisiana. Heading into late Thursday into Friday, a lot more shower and storm activity will fill in across the Ohio Valley, back even maybe through the Midwest is not impossible. Doesn't seem like we'll have any snow out of this for the most part, maybe a little bit of isolated mixture back on the west side of this trough, so that could impact areas like Missouri maybe going to Friday. A little bit too early to tell if that will actually happen, but we'll keep you updated with the latest if anything changes there. By Friday afternoon into Friday evening, by Black Friday shopping, there will be a lot of rain on the East Coast, so just be prepared, bundle up, make sure you're prepared for the rain if you're along the East Coast and you have any plans to go Black Friday shopping. By Saturday, this trough will move off to the north and east. More rain is expected into Saturday in New England, and then by Sunday, that moves out, and the rest of the United States should, for the most part, dry out. And let's go to the future radar more in depth here across the southern plains and as well as the southeast. Going into Thursday, again, some showers and maybe a few storms will be possible across Texas and Louisiana by Thursday morning. But by Thanksgiving dinner time frame, a lot more shower and storm activity, numerous to potentially widespread is expected across areas like Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, back through the Ohio Valley. Is going to have that potential for maybe some showers and storms. Again, severe weather is not impossible. Might see some isolated damaging winds or maybe a little bit of isolated large hail. By Thursday evening into Friday in the overnight hours, we'll have more of that shower and storm activity shift off to the east. In terms of the instability, there's not a whole lot being forecasted in terms of the instability, so I don't expect, again, that high of a severe weather potential, but I cannot rule out some isolated severe weather. A marginal threat is definitely not out of the question. Going into the southeast, this is right around Thanksgiving dinner. Again, a lot of shower and storm activity expected across areas like Alabama and Mississippi. By Friday morning, we'll have that shower and storm activity shift off to the east. So if you have any plans, again, for Black Friday shopping, make sure you're getting ready for that potential for some showers and maybe a few storms. Going into Friday, around the, again, Black Friday shopping time frame, a lot of the showers and storms by Friday afternoon will move off to the east. So we'll have some showers back down in Florida, maybe even as up tier back closer to the mid-Atlantic regions. But other than that, just isolated shower activity will be following behind that back over in areas like Alabama and Mississippi. And by Saturday, most of that activity should clear out. Maybe a few flurries, again, back up in Tennessee, not out of the picture at this point. Back over in the Ohio Valley, again, this will be an area where we're going to see a lot of rain, potentially a few inches in some areas. So flooding, flash flooding concerns, not impossible either. But by Friday morning, maybe a couple of flurries, maybe a mixture back on the west side of this trough. Again, a lot of rain across this region for a good 24 hours from Thursday night into Friday, and eventually going into Friday night into Saturday. Still some showers, maybe again a few flurries back from Indiana back through about even North Carolina. Not impossible again. And then going into Saturday, most of that activity will shift off to the north and east. In terms of rainfall, a lot of rainfall is likely going to come out of this. We could see some pockets of 1 to 3 inches of rain. Can't rule out even a stretch or two seeing maybe 1 to 4 inches in a couple of locations. So don't be surprised if your rain gauge says something higher than what's already being estimated by computer models. It's definitely not out of the question that we do get a little bit more rainfall. Temperatures over the next several days will be nowhere in comparison to what we saw last week for most areas, at least. Around average to maybe even above average temperatures possible across the United States for the next several days. Colder weather may return across the south and southeast going into Friday. That would be again due to that trough that's going to be deepening, so we could see a decent little cold blast, if you will, back down in the southern plains and down into the southeast. But by eventually next weekend, warmer weather will return pretty quickly. Then going into next week, we have to watch for maybe another trough that might bring and usher some cooler air out of Canada again. So another thing to watch in the long term. But for right now, we're more focused about Thanksgiving. And also the temperatures on Thanksgiving Day, the high temperatures, it's going to be cold in a couple of areas, mainly the northern plains and back through areas in the northeast. But on the other hand, a lot of areas in the mild sector, so again, back through the Ohio Valley and back into the southeast, pretty warm conditions expected, and eventually going to Black Friday for your high temperature. Temperatures will not be a whole lot different from Thanksgiving, just a couple of degrees cooler back down in the Ohio Valley and the southeast. Make sure to like button down below, subscribe if you've not already. This forecast is brought to you by Platinum Contract.